Got it.
Yeah, so G2, say that one more time. You were kind of off and on a little bit.
No, he left a little bit. No, he said he got to see you at that Louisville, Kentucky game.
Oh, but man, you know
Gary,
what?
Gary, Indiana now has vested interest in the Louisville program. Shouts out to Karan Davis because of that.
Listen,
Hey,
speaking
well,
of Indiana, Florida Atlantic, last year they were the number 9 seed in the. This year they the 9 seed in the country.
Yep.
Led by a Gary product. So
Nelly, shouts out to Nelly. Donnell Davis, I got you. If I don't know anybody, if I don't know anybody, I'm gonna know my native people.
Absolutely. And listen, this is double preview. This probably been about a good 4 months since we've been on live. It's good to see my people again. And of course, with a double preview, we had to bring on
Whole time.
friends of the program, distinguished gentlemen from the great state of Indiana. The main man, Jones, in the building. He's gonna help us break down the NCAA. MJ, we appreciate you being on. Coach Les is out there somewhere between Las Vegas and Arizona. Ham is in the building. Trav is in the building, man. Star-studded affair, 94 feet of light. Subscribe to the YouTube, notifications on. We got a schedule of shows we're gonna release that, but fellas, let's get to it. I checked the top 25 today, preseason. Preseason don't mean much, but you get a little gauge. I see North Carolina at 19. I see Kentucky at 16. I scroll up on the page, you hit the page up on the MacBook or whatever, and I see Florida Atlantic at 9. I see Creighton at 8. I see Marquette at 5. I'm like, what in the world is going on? So, fellas, opening thoughts on this hoop season, man. I think this could, we might have another. Last year we had a real different Final Four, so to speak. I think we might be headed down the road again with another Final Four that might look a little bit different than the usual suspect. You know how we do, fellas, rapid fire, in and out. Your thoughts? Now, we might not questions tonight. We just gonna talk on these previews.
You already know, man. Look, the NCAA powers that be is tired of y'all Ponzi scheme of getting one and done freshmen. They sick of y'all. It don't work anymore. They tired of y'all. So they only go give it to the grown men. So unless you ain't got a graduate senior with a 3.0 GPA that's getting an MBA that played 4 years already, or you got a transfer from some Division I program that you probably don't know about, but buddy averaged 19 on the cool, and he gonna be a nice 7th, 8th man dude off the bench and gonna come in and give you buckets. Unless you pulled in some of them. I mean, yeah, I love I love youth basketball. I love grassroots. I love all of the cats that come from EYBL, some from the Adidas program, but it's grown man hoops. This ain't the NBA in which you could just go into the paint whenever you want because it's a defensive 3 seconds. This is grown man cutting the court in half with grown man coaches who are going to execute their stuff for approximately 40 minutes, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. You got to be different up here at age 19 to be ready for that. Mm-hmm. And we ain't seen this since Jaleel. What year was that?
That was 2015 was the last young team to win one. And for the last 8 years, it's been people who can drink alcohol legally that actually have won.
It's been that, and it's been teams that had at least 4 guys averaging 9 points or more. So it ain't gonna just be we gonna set 1 million picks for this dude every possession and he gonna score 25 and you gonna win that way. That's dead. UConn.
Yeah. Now I said I wasn't gonna do questions, but if I got G2 on, I would be remiss if I didn't ask it. Purdue. Now, I'm not laughing at you wild for that. No. Zach Edey makes a deadline decision to come back. He's the leading returning scorer in the nation. I'm not gonna put G2 on the spot because it's only October. We put him on the spot in like mid-March.
Put him on the spot now. We got him here for a reason.
You could put me on the spot.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, G2. Is it time for Purdue? Or give me the Purdue synopsis right now.
So first, I want to say the NCAA is going to be standing for No Coddling Allowed Association. That's what the NCAA about to turn into, because you're looking at Purdue. I don't like. It's obviously that's my school, they're my guys, but it's just always something missing. And what is missing is we don't consistently have a league ready guard, and because of that, we struggle with some of the basic things when it comes to tournament. Because every time we lose, if you can go back to let's just say the last 5 years or so, every tournament game we've lost to a team that has shifty guards that can get downhill, but also guards that can just flat out just shoot the ball, right? And normally what that translates to on the other side is we struggle getting downhill because those guards are just too quick and fast and they disrupt the traditional Purdue point guard. So unless we could find someone that could just say, hey, you know what? When we need a bucket and Zach got 4 people holding on to him, unless we find that person on the perimeter, we're going to have a hard time this year. That's my school. I'm going to say it against the Final Four again. It's starting to turn into one of the situations like, you know, how probably was dating someone and you brought around the family here and there, and then y'all ain't no longer together, but she still want to come to the holidays.
Yeah.
That's what it's starting to look like for him. And I'm like, hey, y'all keep getting invited to this big dance, but ain't nobody really inviting you because you ain't being able to sit at the table. So we're going to have to figure out something. So I'm going to go with them. I hope so. Bless their heart. Big Dog was there, so hopefully he was just there a couple of days ago, so hopefully that motivated them as well. You know what I mean? So we're going to see.
It's absolutely. Ham, the Bluff versus all y'all. That's a perfect set. That's a perfect tag. Memphis, now tell me that, speaking of change, Houston out of the conference. Houston now in the Big 12. I know I just said I wasn't going to ask y'all questions, but we're here. Is the door open now in Tigerland to say, look, we got these annoying Houston Cougars out the way. Now what's gonna happen, man?
The door is open, but down here in Memphis and college basketball, we live by Murphy's Law. What can go wrong? Oh, that motherfucker will go wrong. It's just the nature of the beast down there. Neither here nor there. It's a lot of excitement just on the basketball front. You know, y'all noticed the past couple seasons, like for Madness, it hadn't been this extravagant thing that you've seen coming from Memphis with no money bag, or no badge. It's been something quaint, small, and effective. This time they went with Student Madness, not in the FedEx Forum. They had it in the El Barone Fieldhouse on campus. Good event. From all things, my people was there. Shout out to Anthony Sane, Blow City Media, all my partners over there. They went, they checked it out. They was like, it was good stuff. But the culture, they're trying to really build this up around the school, as it should. With that being said, the transfer portal has been great, for the program. They benefited a lot. They picked up some great talent. Is Sweet 16 better or bust for the most part? Second weekend and nothing else really is acceptable. What I'm saying? Beyond, next to net. So it's just one of those things to where on the college side, we're excited about it because it's like, our guy's learning. You know what I'm saying? Penny, he's learning, he's growing as a coach, he's getting better. He's gonna take his lumps and make his mistakes. We're gonna take him and rock with him. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, we ready to hoop.
Now, I would be remiss. Now, my main man, Coach Les, is not here. So Trav is gonna have to get the brunt of this. Now I'm saying that not the brunt of this, like this is not a bad thing. It's just Kentucky now, 16 preseason ranked. I would say it's kind of all quiet on the Calipari front right now. A little quiet, it's a little subdued in Kentucky. Trav, longtime UK fan. Expectations a little lower this year? Or has Cal got something cooking up his sleeve that later on in the season we're like, oh, okay.
I like the semi under the radar type of feel we got with this rank. What's this? 16 or something like 16. Especially going into, we know we got that preseason tournament with Kansas, Duke, Michigan State, and Kentucky being. Ain't too many times we done had those 4 teams be under 10th rank or under with Kentucky doing this. But DJ Wagner and others, I'm really excited about seeing them play and seeing how they got that program going. Cal's gonna have to coach. We all know this. This is what we frown upon him about as far as can he do. He's going to have patience, yet he's going to have to find a way to get buckets and get stops in time that matters. But other than that, Kentucky is going to be Kentucky. Kentucky is going to be Kentucky at the end of the day. Can we make things happen in the SEC? Can we make things happen before the take on these certain teams? I haven't looked at their schedule yet, but of course, Kentucky always have challenges and team challenges as far as like their non-conference schedule. So I like the under the radar type of ranking we got right now because it ain't too high to be disappointed about, but it ain't too low to be like, oh, it's a problem. It's like right there. So this NCAA basketball is a long season, and we'll see what happens from there.
There you have it. So now that we didn't get all that out the way, fellas, just talking about MJ talked about the season, but Greg says no Colin. We've talked about it being a grown-up situation. And I think you look at the transfer portal, which the transfer portal is now like NBA free agency almost. Because like MJ said, guys, a dude averaging 19 a game at Southwestern by the Bluff University all of a sudden turns up on San Diego State or turns up at Gonzaga or turns up at Creighton. You're like, man, who's this dude? So with that being said, though, now Kansas is preseason number 1, got like 46 first place votes. But I looked at that team. I don't see it. To me, the difference between them and a Kentucky at 16 is very little because of this transfer portal. I think it's even this thing out so tough. Fellas, we talk about the transfer portal, we talk about the older squad. What does that do for you as not just as a fan, what does it do, but like How has it changed how you watch games now? Because you're looking at a different composition of roster than what we maybe saw 5-10 years ago.
The only thing it changes is the more uncertainty as to who's good and who's not. You got to double down on actual culture when it comes to this level now. And that's the reason why Kansas is up there and Duke will always be up there, because they still have that culture set in. You know, Bill Self, come hella high water, he run that 4-round-1 and get everything he need about it, even if you don't have the sexy names. In fact, he actually does better when he don't have the sexy names. It's when he has those one and done, you know, guys, which he kind of don't know what to do with, especially depending on if they on the wing or whatever, because his offense ain't really built around get the ball to the wing and let him cook. Now, if the wing could shoot it, then that's great because it fits perfect with the 4-round-1. In fact, when they won the national championship, their wing, Ojabi, was knocking 3 down, and that opened up everything. So, you know, he is who he is at this point. Izzo is who he is at this point. Like, you just know what you're getting. But to be honest, the thing for me is what I'm looking at is Dan Hurley the next Coach K. I studied them all off season because I didn't get a chance to watch them enough. And I wanted to learn, you know, what was their recipe, so to speak. Man, when I tell you he had an answer for everything, like he had an answer for everything. Whatever you threw at that man, he had an answer for it. You might see pick and roll. You might see rim running secondary break. You might see a regular motion offense. You might see some wrinkles in that motion offense. Everything you wanted, he had for you. And whatever you gave up, he took in his mouth. He had Adama hitting threes out there. Like, so I'm looking at UConn like repeat ain't really out the realm of possibility for them because of how they play. So that's my thing. I'm really going to look at UConn this year because I think even if they don't win it this year, they could beat Villanova Part 2 easily.
I think North Carolina put everything in perspective for me last year. For them to be as high as ranked they was number 1 in the nation starting the year. We all picked them to get there. And the way they played, it's not just the way they played, it was the talent that they was playing against. And it was like, man, I thought Carolina was bringing back everybody with this experience. They get smacked. Not everybody in the nation. It don't matter who you line up. At the end of the day, when you roll that ball out on the court, can my man beat your man? Can we not turn the ball over more than they can? Can we make more free throws than they can? At the end of the day, I think we as 94 Feet of Life has put up the winning formula to win a national championship. And it's been right for the past, how long we've been here? 8 years?
11 at this point.
Yeah. So, I mean, us together have been like 11, but again, when it all boils down, especially with this transfer portal in effect, hey, man, anybody can win it. And that's why we see Florida Atlantic up there.
I think with the transfer portal, I think it really becomes who, not necessarily who gels together the fastest, but who by about January, by the time you really get into conference play, who is kind of got rotations together, chemistry down. I think those are the teams. And MJ, you talk about it, Connecticut last year, by about mid-February on, probably was, and eventually they won national championship, but they were probably the best team in the country last year from about the middle point of February on, because it all kind of started to hit. And that's why we talk about Ham's old nemesis, Houston. Houston going from American to the Big 12, but still being like the number 7 team in the country tells me they got a bunch of talent, despite losing Jarace Walker last year. despite losing Sasser. Like they Kelvin. Kelvin might have something up the sleeve. And right now, but by about January, I think Houston could be one of them teams that be like, okay, put them down early, and put them down. So,
Well, first thing first is transport portal. It while it's fun, it is a clusterfuck because I don't know who's where. When I looked up and I'm looking at the Big 12 preseason cats, all preseason team, and I see Max Appler. So what's the cat's name from Oral Roberts for the last 7 years, running point guard, going to the tournament with them, and he's all Big 12. But they're like, well, Perry Ellis Award recipient right there. He gets the Perry Ellis Award off the top.
Man, wow.
But it makes it fun though because it's like Big Shot said, it's like free agents in that sense, but it changes the fandom dynamic to me because you can't really, it's kind of the same issue that coaches had with one and done. They weren't able to really like establish chemistry with the group that they had because they were reloading every year. Now you pretty much can reload new talent on another scale just in terms of the transfer. You know what I'm saying? Because guys are putting themselves in better position to get a look to get to their next level. That makes it fun. And then when you add in the money aspect of it, it's a different world. You know what I'm saying? It's a different college basketball game than it was 5 years ago.
yeah. Now, since we got G2 on here, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the lady side. And so here's my analogy right here, fellas. So we got LSU women, No Limit record. Y'all remember the No Limit record? Y'all remember the album covers? The album covers was wild. That's LSU women's ball. And then we got Iowa. We're going to call Iowa Hootie and the Blowfish. And we know who's Hootie, and we know who the Blowfish are. Caitlin Clark, Hootie, she Darius Rucker. The Blowfish is the rest of them. G2, we also, though, look, hopefully, fingers crossed, we get finally, we got Bud, and we get paid healthy for a full year in UConn, or at least somewhat healthy for a full year. Because I think in G2, on in, if Bud and Paige are healthy, especially if they healthy at the end of the year, that February to March time that we talking about, as much as I like the No Limit Soldiers, I don't think there's another pair in the women's game like Fudd and Paige, if healthy.
Okay. So you said No Limit. All right, so let's look at the golden era of hip hop with all the record labels. So you got LSU, No Limit. If LSU is No Limit, then UConn is Rockefeller, because what they got going on this year with that squad is loaded. I think LSU, I think they're gonna be fine. I got them making the final. So let's do this. I don't have Iowa making the Final Four.
Oh,
I don't have Iowa making the Final Four for a few different reasons. One of them being, I think it's going to be a different situation because as good as Caitlin Clark is, if she does not find help on that perimeter, it's going to be some trouble. And when I say help on the perimeter, I mean y'all going to have to sit down and keep people in front of you. When you see how they match up, look at LSU. LSU's rough, right? This is rough. UConn is rough. Even when you look at other schools, like UCLA is going to be nice this year. Like UCLA is going to be tough. Utah is still there. Arizona is going to be nice. It's a lot. It's some teams. it's some teams that is like you're gonna have to figure it out. And I didn't even mention Ohio State. Ohio State is even better.
You ain't mentioned South Carolina.
They got the turn. Speaking of,
right now.
the reason I can't mention them right now because they're going to be so young and they don't have a legit host like the South Carolina teams that were like either one or contenders. They had an anchor in that middle that can say, "Hey, you know what? Get on my back, let's go." They don't. They don't have that right now. You know what I mean? But even before I mention Iowa, like I said, I got to mention Ohio State because they got the young lady that transferred from Duke. That was at Texas first, went to Duke. Now she at Ohio State, and you putting her with Cody McMahon and then JC Sheldon. That's rough. It's gonna be this, and then obviously everyone saw the Iowa DePaul exhibition game in front of 50,000 plus yesterday, right at Iowa's football field. I think we also that's why I mentioned as far as their golden eras because the amount of money that is being pumped into women's basketball right now, especially at the collegiate level, is something we've never seen at all, right? And I think that glass ceiling that's been on women's basketball, people saying, "Hey, no one's watching," or "Why do we pay?" Like that glass ceiling is shattered already. So now it's gonna be some interesting things taking place.
And let's shout out you too, because you said this 5 years ago that this game was going to blow up because we were seeing it at the EYBL level. We were seeing it in their tournaments. The girls' game was just as hype, if not hyper, than the boys' game. And it's like, do you really think?
And what it comes down to is when you look at it just from a business financial structure, what people don't realize is on the men's side, right? It starts at the corporate. That's why you have more money at top when you look at the NBA. On the women's side, it starts at the grassroots level and it goes up.
Okay.
Right? And because it's going up, that means that the grassroots level from a consumer base, they're going to buy whatever you put out because it wasn't nothing before. So everything is fresh. It's like if you're going out west, back in the day, you going out west to settle and it's just empty land. And that's what the college game is on the women's side, you know what I mean? And it's great to see. I enjoy, from the NIL situation, I got about 8 young ladies right now that I work with. And one team I didn't even mention yet is Notre Dame. Notre Dame going to be rough this year if everybody's healthy.
That point guard for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's going to be tough.
Yes. God, I had a question for G2, but
He gonna come
when he come back, I'm just gonna. There you go. So G2, you on?
Yeah, you talking about living house?
Yes. But the question that I have, okay, being that the NCAA Women's Championship had a record-breaking 9 million views. Had like 900 million, not 900 million, 9 million viewers. And yesterday, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, we had a women's college basketball game outdoors that brought 55,000.
He just posted that up.
I know you may have answered this before, but what does that bring to what attention does that bring to the women's aspect of college basketball or basketball in general? That 55,000, you had to put a football field to put these people.
Yeah. Well, the first thing it brings to people's attention is like if we're doing the men's games at like Cowboy Stadium or certain places for the Final Four, put the ladies in there too. Because it's been shown that they can do it. Like this past Final Four, that was at American Airlines Arena. That wasn't at the Cowboy Stadium in Dallas.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So right now, they're showing that it's with anything. People can say, that it's not like this, but it is a certain thing called sexism in the workplace. Women do not get paid the same, nor are they valued the same way. You see it in the WNBA, but what they're struggling with now, when I say them, the powers that be is the consumer base is speaking and saying, no, we are willing to pay whatever to watch these young play, including South Carolina and Notre Dame next month are playing in Paris.
Please.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a different ball game now. And once that Pandora's box is open, now it's like that's what I'm saying. It's this like free reign because it's no cap, right? On the men's side, you can kind of see how things are. You fluctuating even from like the sneaker culture of signature shoes, right? So, but people don't know Sabrina's shoe, the Sabrina 1, that shoe, when you look at it in once the 12-month span is done, her shoe is going to be top 5 all time NBA or WNBA in sales. Watch how many guys in the NBA this season are wearing Sabrina Ionescu shoes.
Mhm. You know, I also think what's helping the women's game too. We talked about the transfer portal. We don't know who plays for who, who plays for who. The women's game has had a transfer portal too. But what you're also seeing though is you're seeing like familiar names, familiar faces still on squads. So now you have an investment in LSU because you're like, hey, these are young ladies from last year. So they're also, they got something. The women's game got that 1980s continuity with squads, with add a couple. So I think their game, I think it's gonna be an exciting year for the women.
Right, so y'all gonna make me the bad guy. Okay, fine. I'll be the bad guy today. I had positive energy on my name and everything, but y'all just don't can't help y'all. Fine. I'll be the bad guy. Let's just keep it a buck in the 20. The game is now interesting now because a black woman, stepped to a white woman and talked trash to her and won. Because this country is messy. We need the tea. We need mess. Controversy sells. For all of those people who say you're supposed to act this way or act that way, you damn sure don't pay those people who act this way and that way any attention until they act a fool. It works every time. Floyd Mayweather has made the most money in boxing history because you want to see him lose because he acts a fool. Ali, y'all love him now. Back when he was boxing, y'all could not stand Ali. And y'all paid top dollar to see Ali lose.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who is in a minority situation in which people think that they are better than them for reasons that they have no control over cannot get the attention unless you act a fool. And it sucks. But that's true. But the other key point in this is what, when it comes to the ladies, is you are now seeing storytelling from the individual player of like where they come from, seeing their personality, seeing their actual DNA, and people are now buying into the actual player and that player's brand as well too. So when you mentioned like the Angel and Caitlin thing, absolutely, it was like the country was divided at that moment, right? And you seen the certain things happening of even President Biden's wife saying, "Hey, Iowa, why don't y'all come to the White House?" It's like they ain't win. What they come to the White House for? They ain't win. And I think we have a situation now where you are, and this goes back into the consumer and the money, you know, and why the WNBA kind of like was still kind of is still scaling and going up is because now people are buying into the individual fan bases of players. Yep.
We didn't in the women's game. You really didn't have that, and this is why you didn't have it. You couldn't buy a Shamika Holdsclaw jersey from Mitchell and Ness. You couldn't buy certain. It's like you couldn't latch on and follow those players from the time they picked up a basketball until the time that they stopped. Right. So it was one of those. Well, now you can see the difference of what's going on and how people are now. Look at right now in the WNBA. You got the Vegas Aces versus the Liberty, New York Liberty, and it's two worlds, two different worlds, right? And you even see from a commentator or a sports columnist or whoever you want to say of how they even treat both teams and how they talk about them, how they write about them, the certain trigger words that they may use, you know what I mean, to describe Asia Wilson versus a Sabrina, right? Or a Chelsea Gray versus a Brianna student, or vice versa, right? So you see certain things that are happening, and now people are finally trying to speak up and say, no, you know what? I'm not going to stay in this box. Because if I stay in this box, I can't grow as a player, nor can my brand as who I am on and off the court grow.
But look, we about to transition into the NBA preview. G2, if you can stay on, brother. But if you can't, we will definitely be having you back at periodical points during the season, discuss what's going on, man. And we definitely want to have you back to promote your tournament. So do not let us.
Oh, for sure. I'm definitely coming back on. Like, y'all got a brand new studio now. Y'all out here doing it. I got to be back on. Ham pushing the cookies, the brownies. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all doing it big. You know what I'm saying? But we got to be back on because I'm going to have to tap in. And we're going to have to talk about Louisville because we got one of my young boys. One of my young boys is at Louisville this year from Gary.
Absolutely.
And he put on a little show last weekend in a scrimmage.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make my way
I
up.
understand, Trav. I understand Big Blue Nation. I understand it. But hey, when that game happened, Kentucky versus Louisville, you might have to put on some red.
Nah, I can't do that, man. I can't do
Put
that.
on purple.
Don't make me do this.
Just put on purple there.
I can't do that, man. That's just. I'm gonna have to check it out, man. I'm gonna have to check them out and see what's good, though, man. I'm glad you put me on to it.
All right, fellas. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna talk to you.
All right, bet.
G2.
Dude, my man.
Salute. There it is, Greg Jones, G2 Hoops. We're going to have him back on throughout the course of the season. Now, to the NBA. And, you know, one thing we always used to say is this league of ours. When there's nothing going on, that means there's something going on. So, fellas, where do we want to start? Dame Jay Drew to Boston. Harden unhappy in Philadelphia.
No, we ain't starting with that.
Paul is now a Warrior out of the blue.
So let's start there.
So I'm gonna start with Chris Paul with Golden State.
Let's start there.
I've heard in our group, different circles, some people really like it, but a lot of people are not a fan of it. And I can understand why. So, fellas, simple yes or no, or you can show me on the screen. Is thumbs down or is it thumbs up for Chris Paul to the Warriors?
Anytime I got something smart to say, I'm just gonna point to my background, bro.
It ain't. Oh my God, I am so like, because I heard some background about that, being that Chris is there. They trying to put Klay Thompson on the market.
Well, if they can't come to and if they can't find a deal,
they can't get him extension. This is Klay. What is he doing? What have Klay Thompson done to deserve this? You gave, okay, respectfully, you paid Klay. I mean, no, you paid Steph. Respectfully, you paid Draymond. This is your three-headed monster. This is the start of your three-headed monster. Yes, he has been through injuries, but he's still a champion. He's there. You want to put him, man? I don't know, man. I don't know about that, man.
You know what? I could compare general managers and owners to the same competency of somebody who owns a club in the hood, except for months equated to years. So, what I mean by that, I really believe that the more you win, the more money it costs. And you get put in a situation in which you got to make decisions that may affect the winning to save the money. Just like in the club in the hood, the more it's popping, probably the more violence going to eventually happen. In which now you got to make a decision. Are you going to rebrand it? You going to keep putting money into it? Or are you just going to wash your hands and sell it and let somebody else pick it up thinking they're going to save the day with it? And then what eventually happens? Those clubs just keep revolving new ownership every 3 months. Well, what happens with NBA championship dynasties? They go on a run and then they disappear for about a couple of decades. I think we're headed that direction. Too much money was given, a couple of injuries happened, a couple of bad decisions was made out of impatience. And unfortunately, everybody's looking at Steph as a superhero. So no matter who they bring along, everyone want to have that hopeless optimism. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. That team is not big enough to play against Lakers or them. They're just not big enough. It's a big man's game now.
Yeah, I'm with you, MJ. I have concerns. I mean, you watched them in the Lakers series last year. You watched Team USA and FIBA. Even in this game of spread the floor, a lot of threes, a lot of high pick and roll, you got to be able to defend the interior at some point. And just the fact that they're so small, I don't like it. Now, the bluff versus all y'all, I do like it. Even with the suspension of Ja start the year, I like it because to me, that team last year, if they have Adams or Brandon Clark, I think they go to the West Finals. If they have, because I think Memphis has the with Ja, with Bane, with some of the pieces they got on the perimeter. You know, usually you think of Memphis, you don't think perimeter. But Memphis has a nice set of perimeter players. But if Adams, Clark, and Jaren are healthy, I am very tempted. Now, I ain't putting the jinx on them. I am very tempted to pick Memphis to come out of the West, even with the Ja suspension. Because they, to me, when they were all together last year, they were the deepest team to me in the West. When they had everybody together.
It's been a lot of disrespectful chatter over the summer. A whole lot. We took inventory on all that shit. I'm just gonna say that off the rip. We wrote down notes, all of it, screenshots, index cards. We laminated index cards with shit on it, with crazy. I mean, I can understand a sour taste changing your perception and your fandom, and I can understand how when it happens with one, then here comes the next, and this person side with this person. It's just this domino effect of sourness. I get it. Again, I'm from Memphis. Murphy's Law. If it goes wrong, what can't go wrong will go wrong. You mentioned it though, Big Shot. Go Steven Adams. Brandon Clark with a torn Achilles. You're playing, you got Xavier Tillman, and I love X. Shout out to X. He was asked to come into duty and guard LeBron James. He did a decent job. For what you laid out there for, he did a decent job. We lose a very volatile dynamic in Dillon the Villain.
That's a great word to describe.
We get back a Defensive Player of the Year winner in Marcus Smart. We lose and undervalued, I thought, heralded young veteran in Tyus Jones. Get back Derrick Rose. It's a trade-off. You got older, you got more experience, you got healthy. And you did some decent work in the draft in terms of supplementing your youth. I'm not putting no prediction on it. I'm not putting no record on it. All I saw was that these last 3 seasons, our best player has missed 19, 25, and 22 games respectively. And they exceeded win totals beyond 40 plus to whatever, and they won 50 plus twice, 2 of those seasons. But y'all telling me that this team is about to be in the play-in? All right. Take an inventory on that shit too. I ain't making no predictions. We here to ride Bluff City versus all y'all slow ass. That's where we get with this.
That's the energy. Now, Trav, it's a different world right now. You know, Pop was looking like the old shop teacher that was just waiting on his, you know, he just ready to retire.
I'm sick of them motherfuckers too, Big Shot. Go ahead.
This
pick overall.
Now, I'm not a big preseason watcher, but as your boy Jeezy said on Versus, I tell you what.
Now, Vic was doing stuff that you're not supposed to do as a human being. So let's really address it. Like he doing inhumane stuff. Like this.
I'm gonna get Trav, but Trav will get your Spurs take. For me,
No. MJ, go ahead, finish.
It's not the fact to put the ball on the floor at 7-5. That's not, to me, the most impressive part. The impressive to me is, and he does 2 things that every big man, that all great big men can do: catch the ball in traffic and score in the same move. You catch it in traffic amongst 2 or 3 people and go up in that same move without having to bring it down or up fake. That's 1. And then 2, he got feet. He got unbelievable balance to be able to, yes, he's slight, he'll put on weight naturally. I'm cool with that. Unbelievable feet and unbelievable hands. Like, above the putting the ball on the floor and shooting it, I see why Popovich, his mood has kind of perked up over what it's been. Because boy, Wemby something else.
I'm telling y'all, like I told y'all a couple of months ago, when we get him, give Pop 2 more valuable pieces at San Antonio. He probably coached there till you're 100. He probably have a lifetime contract in San Antonio. But Victor, from what I've seen right now, he is as good as advertised. The reason why Victor can do what he do, because as most international players have, they have a soccer background.
Yeah.
Stoppage Time FC will be showing up soon, so keep a lookout on that too. But again, he has a soccer background, and there's no way you can throw the ball, raise your hand up at the 3-point line to throw a lob. You throw this lob to the Alamo Dome, and he catches it from the dot and still catches it and dunks it. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Y'all remember Michael Jordan stretched from full court and dunked the ball?
Yeah, it looks similar.
He did that against Miami. And the person he dunked on, he looked at the camera like, oh my God, what have I got myself into?
And that dude's 6'11".
He made him look like a baby. A baby car seat with the extra seat belt. Yes, the cross one with the red buckle.
Yeah, but you got burp.
Yes, burp me. Yes. And what's so cold about it? Chet Holmgren is good, y'all.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, Jet Top.
Wembanyama showed him that there's a certain level to being this side and to being this able to do what I do. They both had like 20 or 21. But Wembanyama's 20 was so smooth. This fool crossed, went to the free throw line, stepped back. Now, this man probably wear like a 19 or 20. He stepped back. He made himself look like he was 6'3" doing that step back. And then he fades. Man, dude offensively is a talent. Defensively, he can play 5 feet away from you and still block your shot. Dude, I'm gonna put it to you like this. I will be surprised if we make noise, but be prepared for the future, especially when he's healthy and putting on the proper weight and that team stays healthy. When those pieces come together, Spurs gonna be back. Spurs gonna be back.
They go Trav not wanting to jinx some shit. Listen, the Spurs are back. And here's the reason why. No. Here's the reason why Spurs are back. Because in NBA, the rules are built around individuality. Up until this point, the closest we've seen to that man is Ralph Sampson. He's Ralph Sampson and KD put together. We ain't never seen nothing like this, bro. If he stays healthy, they make it into the playoffs. Because how are you going to guard him? I would love to hear it. How you going to triple team up there? How? He made Rudy Gobert look normal size. Rudy Gobert led the league in shot blocking and won multiple defensive players of the year. When he was 16 years old, he was giving him work. There's video footage of this. That was before the balance and the strength work and the core work that he's doing. You look at their supporting cast, all them dudes got to do is make shots. They showed they could do that last year, even though they wasn't that good. They ready. I mean, yeah, would it help to them to have like a wing superstar? Of course. But let's not get it twisted. He has more than enough right now to make the playoffs at least.
Man, he
sorry, Ham.
Oof.
I'm sorry, Ham.
Man, we got dude. He's as good as, I ain't gonna say awesome yet. He's as good as advertised right now. He's as good as advertised. That's the height I'm gonna put it. He's as good as advertised.
As long as he helps. I just want him to
that's all I'm about, MJ. If he's healthy, the Spurs they can compete with anybody. Just have that other Jones brother know how to get the ball past half court when he see a press.
No, don't worry about it. Just put Blake in. He's from the region too. I'll put him in Blake. So don't worry about it, sweetheart. Put Blake in.
Yeah.
Now, on the eastern side of things, our big move is Dan in Milwaukee. Twitter's gonna do it. Picture of old Cream and Oscar side by side with Dan. But I think, to me, we talk about this at Ham and spoke about this. When you are a Milwaukee mid-market small franchise, it's like Toronto 2019. When the big fish comes available to you, you got because you're not going to get the players to even up time for you. So a lot of people, I like you Milwaukee, you got to swing. Take your because Clippers don't become a. I'm not mad at them.
at all. For real, at all. Because we on that part of the journey of being students where we don't know what's next. MJ said all the time, we don't know shit. We think we know, but when we get to the finality of it, we find out that we really don't know shit, and we just enjoyed what we learned. Like, what did we really learn from the 2022-23 season? In a nutshell, just quick hit.
Denver, the best team in NBA.
Among a few other things, right?
Yeah, I mean that's point blank.
We learned that it's going back to a big man's game.
It's going back to a big man's league.
5-6 years ago, what was going to happen in 2023. I still don't know shit though. That was just an educated guess. But yeah.
And here we are back for another marathon.
Yes, sir.
I would say it's like I don't, even when we get to this stage of like the season previews and predictions, I don't have shit. Let's watch this shit, man.
Now, I'm gonna give you another team in the East. You know, to me, if you're Boston, this and MJ, you trying to grab down here for me. Boston has the best in the East for about 5 years. If you just go back and look at the players they had, and now they got Drew. You line up Drew. Now I hate that they lost time. Losing Robert Williams is big, but they had Porzingis. They gonna line up Drew, the Jays, well, 3 Jays, not the Drew, 3 Jays, Porzingis, Horford, Derek White. I don't think anybody else got 6 like that. Maybe Golden State on their best day.
No.
So to me, we talk about the pressure, and if you want to do a hot take or who better do something, I think Boston, this is on you. This is you now.
Boston is on a 2-year you better contract right now.
I'm not mad at this, right? I think that's true.
Boston needs to sign Isaiah Thomas and get that man a ring.
You think it's a curse? You think it's a
just look at the tape that they have had that just for whatever reason didn't work out. Y'all replaced it with Kyrie Irving. Y'all end up getting Kemba Walker. What's the other guard that they end up getting, and it still didn't work. But no matter who they put in there since Isaiah Thomas, it just ain't work.
I think maybe Derek White may be that piece, but as far as a you better, they on a 2-year contract. They on a 2-year contract. There's no better pieces to fit that team than when they have, right? I mean, of course you can get somebody better, but as far as a cohesive unit, they have that. They are six deep.
Nobody else's first 6 right now is better than them.
It's better than them. Nobody.
And here's an observation. That's the problem. You have guys that are so good. Here's the problem. You got guys that are so good that they have yet to step into their hunger, to that dog. In order to win, you got to break some rules. And I think as of right now, Jason Tatum is very Kevin Durant-ish in this situation alone. They will settle for that jump shot come hella high water. Yes, they put a lot of work in. Yes, a lot of times it goes in, but I don't think people understand the psychology of what it looks like when KD just like, I'm going to get to this paint every time. When you dominate somebody, it does something different to their psyche when you hit a tough jump shot. And until Jason Tatum understands that realm, until Jaylen Brown understands that realm consistently, I don't think they go anywhere. I'm gonna be real. Because if a 6'10" dude shoots a jumper over me and I play good defense, I don't feel too bad about myself. If he puts me on that block and he dunks on 3 people, you saw the face the dude made when Victor Wembanyama did to him. You saw that face, that was defeat. That man wanted no parts, no smoke.
Phones.
It's a psychology part of the game that I don't think people put enough effort into or try to study. Yes, I don't know everything, but I do know when somebody just got their ass embarrassed to the point of no return, that affects them about at least 2 or 3 plays later. And that's the part that Boston is missing. Porzingis, another dude, he can shoot a step back 3, but is he gonna dominate that paint for me? That's Boston's problem. Y'all playing by the rules too much, and this other dudes is not playing fair. Jokic ain't playing fair.
They never play fair. Here's the thing about Porzingis. Here's the thing about Porzingis, and that's the one player from Boston we may see a difference. When your team is losing and you have like a nagging injury, like a sore ankle, you tend not to play. But when you're winning and you have that sore ankle, you want to play. Porzingis has been somewhat injuries. He's been somewhat soft. They pick on him on defense. These preseason games that we've been seeing Porzingis aggressive, going after the ball. He's playing for a winning organization. When he was at second home of New York, he didn't want that. When he was in Chocolate City down there in DC, he didn't want to play for that. When he was at Dallas, they weren't getting along like that. But for some reason, when you see potential, you want to play.
Yeah.
So, man.
All I know is I know Giannis is gonna get in that paint and try to punish somebody. I don't know if anybody in Boston is gonna do that consistently.
Is they gonna retaliate?
That point.
Is they gonna retaliate is the question. How they retaliate is going to be the question.
So rapid fire from out of here. We in 60 minutes. We ain't seen each other in the form. Let's go a little bit. Simple question. Rapid fire. I know y'all don't know nothing. But you know me here. James Harden. Is he a 76er past January?
Yep. And they're gonna be mid.
I think so. I think so.
What organization taking?
Thanks. Philly kind of stuck with them.
Who picked last year or playing that makes the postseason?
Repeat that question.
A team didn't make the or playing last year.
Yeah, San Antonio. San Antonio, man.
Yeah, I may ride with my boys. Oklahoma City is interesting, but I may have to go with guys.
When your GM collects draft picks like Uno cards, you're not gonna win that.
Thunder.
I'm gonna give.
Bring Shai Gilgeous, by the way. Put Shai on the team where he can be in the playoffs. Go ahead.
They made playing.
No, I'm talking about like he on that stage for real, for real.
New Orleans. New
When
Orleans,
health,
I mean, clearly, biggest question mark in the league is Zion. But New Orleans, yeah, other pieces. Like Zion, anything.
Playoffs or act
Yeah.
playoffs, or they gotta call Wiley Coyote and company and get the act.
And it get act. You know, if you know about Wile E. Coyote, that means dynamite.
yeah, wow, man.
Dynamite. Well, listen, this has been a great. We are gonna be back Halloween night. We're gonna go on weeks, every schedule. Like Sam in the building, M Trav in the building, you too. Be alive. 4 people, 5. We're back. Out.